Hi everyone, welcome to Farsight's monthly series, Galactic Mysteries. This series focuses on extraterrestrial matters both near and far in this galaxy. I am Yemi Janae from Farsight. So, today we are focusing on the Lacerta Files. Now, let me explain. Starting in December 1999, a female reptilian met with a man who called himself Olay for an interview. The meetings took place in Sweden. Olay took notes during the meeting, and those notes were later sent to friends in Finland to be translated into English and apparently some other languages. The reptilian female called herself Lacerta, which is not her real name at all, but it was easier to pronounce than her actual name at that time. Just by reading the interview notes, there was no way to actually know if the meetings took place. One simply had to read the words and hope that Olay was telling the truth. The notes came in 2 files, one for each day, since there were 2 meetings. Olay went out of his way to distribute those files free of charge throughout the internet, and a small community of people who read the Lacerta Files were believers. Others were skeptics, and yet others didn't believe it at all. But most people on Earth simply never heard anything about it and were never exposed to this information. I am part of most people until recently. So, according to the notes, Lacerta was a student of human behavior, and she wanted to conduct an experiment to see what would happen to the information that she gave in those 2 interviews. In particular, she wanted to observe the human response to this information. Now, this is how it would have ended for us at Farsight normally. There was no physical confirmation that the meetings actually took place, but our director at Farsight, Courtney Brown, read the Lacerta Files, and he found that a significant amount of the content matched a number of our results in a lot of our remote viewing projects. So, he became curious as to whether or not the meetings actually took place. Since we could not interview Olay directly, he had no alternative but to create a Farsight project addressing the Lacerta Files, and then to have our remote viewers go and take a look and see what actually happened. And that is exactly what we ended up doing. Now, understand that I was a remote viewer on this project, and just like all the other remote viewers who participated with this project, I had no idea what the project was about until after all of my remote viewing was completed. I also had never read the Lacerta Files, so this was all new to me. Well, once all of the remote viewing was done, including all of the remote viewing recordings and sessions, it became obvious that the meetings between this reptilian female named Lacerta and Olay actually did happen. It was real. Now, don't worry, that is not a spoiler alert. By now, the fact that the meetings actually happened should be obvious to you, since we will not publish this project unless we came up with something worthwhile to talk about. But the big surprise is in what other information came across in these meetings. This stuff is deep, and you just have to watch the session for yourself in order to understand how deep it actually is. The actual target for this project is Lacerta when she is giving the information that is eventually recorded as the Lacerta Files. The goal of the project was to describe Lacerta herself as well as Olay, and also the environment where the meeting took place. That is standard practice for all Farsight remote viewers when they go into a new target. Go to a location, look at what is there, and figure out what is going on. The results are astonishing. All of the remote viewers perceived the meeting, all corroborating reports. The viewers were also given pre-designated movement exercises that they needed to do during their sessions. Those movement exercises told no information to the viewers at all. They were based on page numbers of the interviews as described by Olay. They were called moments, and the viewers were told to move to moment 1, moment 2, and moment 3. Moment 1 related to the content on pages 4 and 5 of the Lacerta Files, and that was mostly introductory stuff. Moment 2 related to the pages 12 through 14, which focused on ancient history going back to the ages of dinosaurs on Earth. And moment 3 related to pages 23 through 27. And that focused on an ET war affecting Earth. Now, the viewers were told nothing except to go to moment 1 or moment 2 or moment 3. They did not know what those moments were related to, and none of them knew that they were connected to page numbers in a book. Basically, when these sessions were being done, it seemed like mostly everything went according to plan, except for myself. So I have to confess to you that when I did my session for this project, I perceived the female reptilian lady right away, and she perceived me. We basically kind of just stood there looking at one another for a good while, trying to figure each other out. At first, she was a bit rattled and a bit fearful, and she even notified the base to boost up her security since she did not know what would happen. It was highly unusual for her to be face to face with an Earth human who could sense her without any interferences or control. So after that, and after some back and forth, she basically told me that she did not want me to do any mental probes on her. She didn't like how it felt, and she somehow knew that I would do that, and that I was about to do that in a moment. The way she described it, to her, being mentally probed sounded a bit like rape, and I was not about to mentally rape a nice reptilian lady who politely asked me not to do that. So we agreed that we would simply ask her questions, and she would give me the answers, and we would just have a talk. But then I had to abandon any idea of doing the movement exercises to movements 1, 2, or 3. We simply talked, and what you will see in my video session is what we talked about. Basically, this is a super interesting project, the Lacerta Files. You can still find them on the internet, both in print and as an audio file. I'm totally listening to these audio files. And here you have it, real meeting that took place December 1999, except for my session where I was in 2023 while Lacerta was in 1999. I know it sounds weird, but hey, remote viewing is weird to begin with, so this is what we get. But before we do this, do you want to see a UFO that we recorded with our own cameras here at Farsight? Here's a great one. Take a look. Remember that we are trying to encourage other people to make their own UFO videos by following our methods. We figured out how to evade the ET stealth tech by shooting at 120 frames per second and in infrared. You can see the details of our methods on our website, farsight.org, and you can see us analyzing our footage in various projects on farsightprime.com. Also, you can see a variety of UFO clips for free on our director's Instagram page, Courtney Brown Farsight, all one word. That is Instagram and then Courtney Brown Farsight, like seeing far, all one word. Instagram is really convenient to watch on your phone, so we hope you get interested in shooting your own videos of ET spacecrafts. Once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to do. They're always up there in large numbers, all types of shapes, sizes, and configurations, so it's not a problem finding them, and it's pretty fun. Also, do you want to know what our next major Earth Mysteries project is all about? It will be released February 2024, real soon. So get ready for this. The Collaborators. Yeah, that's right. Humans who collaborate with the group of ETs who we call the bad ETs. Those are select political and military people. We wanted to see if those human collaborators were going to get any type of special treatment in exchange for their buddying up with the bad guys. Well, we found out, spoiler alert, it never pays to make friends with the wrong crowd. But actually, what happens to them will surprise you. Watch it for yourself in mid-February 2024, only on farsightprime.com. Also, before we dive into the Lacerta Files, let me remind you to remember to subscribe or resubscribe in case for whatever possible reason you unsubscribed to our free newsletter, which you can do on our website, farsight.org. That is how we notify people of all of our releases and events, including our live stream events. We never send out spam, and we never ever sell our list of subscribers to anyone else for any reason at all. So it's really worthwhile to keep connected with that free Farsight newsletter. Also, just check to make sure that your email program is not putting our newsletter into your spam, junk, or promotions folder, as some email programs are quite aggressive in doing that. It's really just worthwhile to check to make sure you're getting the newsletter. Again, we only send out notifications when we publish something, and we will never sell our subscriber list to anyone for any reason at all. And now, the Lacerta Files. For this project, we have 4 of the most highly trained remote viewers anywhere dive deep into this. Intisam, Aziz Brown, Shantae, and myself. The target was created by our director, Courtney Brown, and all of the viewers did all of their work totally blind to the target. The final stage is to finish their sessions while being recorded live on video, and all of the viewers always do that completely alone. No one is in the room when they are doing their recordings. And none of the remote viewers communicated with one another during the data collection phase of this project. This is not science fiction. This is as real as it gets. Starting with a session by Intisam, and then Aziz Brown, Shantae, and finally myself, here is what is going on during that meeting with the reptilian female who took the time to meet with a human in Sweden in 1999. Hang on to your seats. This is big. After you see all the sessions, I'll return to put some things together. Now, remember this. Subject A, Lacerta, the female reptilian. Subject B is Olay, the human subject conducting the interview. Subject C are others nearby the subject who are sometimes mentioned in the session.